3, 2, 1.
Got me at the coast, boy. Wanna hear the ocean roar crash over me. Then ride it home, dance it out in moonlight. Hold me tight and don't let go. Watch over me. We are all stardust, stardust, stardust. Left behind, left to find one another, face the sun, fear no one, 'cause we are all one, we are all one, we are all, we are all one, we are all one, we are all. Lift me up, get moonshine, put me into overflow.
Superstar. Hey everybody. I was laughing at what Linda said, not the wiener. And she's so sad. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Jam cheated to be the wiener because she knew I was going live. Hey, Judge Laura. Hey, Shannon. So I did want to go over here and go live for at least an hour this evening before I go back live on Empress Ziggy and do some readings. We're having basically a reading marathon, we're doing some cool things over there. I've got a event I'm trying to go to tomorrow that I'm going to stream for everybody, but it's on Empress Ziggy. So anyways, I wanted to come over here though also and talk to you guys about a few things. Hey, Luminous. Hey, Shannon. Country Girl. I was asking about you and Empress Ziggy earlier. Oh, I was asking. Because you're so good at keeping a list. I know. She just loves those wieners. I mean, who wouldn't? So, hey, Red Road. Hey, Hawk. So, let's see. Have you guys seen anything about this guy? That Sean Williams? I'm sure that some other channels have gone over it. Let's see here. How do I make this? Oh, Ansley Daniels. She looks different.
Today on First at 4, I'm Ansley.
She lost weight or something. What the heck? Why does she look so freaking different? I mean, her hair's darker, but the heck? Search for Sean Williams. Hey, I see you. Hey, honey, Elder. Oh, you're good, country girl. I was just...
Ansley Daniel. Williams escaped from police custody this morning. Sean Williams is now wanted by the U.S. Marshals. He's facing a slew of charges, including child rape and drug charges. The U.S. Marshals Service says that Williams escaped around 7:30 this morning while being transported to the federal courthouse in Greenville. That's where he was scheduled for a hearing. Greenville police say that Williams escaped near Summer Street and Highway 70. Williams was being transported to Greene County from Laurel County, Kentucky. That's where he was being held on those federal charges. charges. U.S. Marshals say that 2 jail officers from Kentucky were transporting Williams and another inmate. News Channel 11's Clarice Shaley joins us now from Greenville this afternoon. That's where an ongoing search for Williams has been happening since this morning. Clarice, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Ainsley, authorities have set up a command post not far from where they have been searching for Sean Williams today. Local, state, and federal agents have been swarming the downtown Greenville area, searching for all morning and afternoon, searching for Williams. They have used a drone, dogs, and a helicopter in their search. Williams was due in federal court this afternoon, where his lawyer was going to try to withdraw as his attorney. Williams faces charges of production of child porn, child rape, and drug charges. The U.S. Marshals tells us a window was kicked out of the van that had brought Williams here from the Laurel County Jail. He's been held in federal custody there. Authorities warn that Williams is desperate and dangerous. They say his head is shaved, and if you see him, to immediately call 911. Live in Greenville, Clarice Shaley, News Channel 11.
Clarice, thank you. And we've also just learned that a $2,500 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of Sean Williams. He was last seen by the officers who were transporting him to the courthouse wearing a tan jumpsuit. If you see Williams, you are urged to call 911. We'll continue.
So, Sean Williams, a former Johnson City businessman. What kind of business did he have in Johnson City? Facing several felony charges, including child rape and drug charges, escaped police custody. Okay, this was all the way in middle October. Hey, Justin. Williams was being transported to Greene County from Laurel County. The circumstances of the escape are under full investigation, and anyone who may have assisted Williams or was negligent in their duties that may have facilitated the escape will be held responsible. The reason why it got me interested in looking into this guy, because I was on Facebook looking into something I was going to talk about. And who was it? Is Alicia here? Who was it that was wondering, where did the light blue truck thing come? And what's the deal with a light blue truck? People were wanting to know who had a light blue truck or something in Hawkins County, I guess to do with the Summer Wells case, but does anybody know what that's about? Hey, Michelle D. So 4 hours ago, and the only reason why I was looking at the Sean Williams thing is because of this post I saw and some comments underneath it. In Hawkins County, there was a large police presence. Notice many Hawkins County Sheriff's Office cars heading towards Rogersville. And they said, what's going on? This person put, hopefully they got the Sean Williams escapee. Take note of the lunatic laughing about, okay. And then somebody responded, he didn't escape though. I'm betting he was set free. Which that's what it's looking like. If he was a former Johnson City businessman, oops. My apologies. I was just reading an email. Hey, Whistle, why you lurk? So, okay, I passed 4 going to Rogersville. Somebody said it was a meeting, nothing to worry about. They have a department meeting. Has anyone heard anything on the scanner? Okay. A couple people said something about a meeting. Which could be it, but something interesting. Oh, looky there. Looky there. Never mind. Never mind. I don't know if you guys just noticed who that was. I didn't even know they were in that comment section. So I talked to Fred, and why I found this interesting is because Fred told me this afternoon they were all locked down, and they were given their dinner at 3:45 p.m. And he also said to due to some, let's see here. Let me see if it's on. They just put the whole jail on lockdown for some reason. They fed us like at 3:45. They're supposed to be having some kind of meeting, but I think there's going to be a shakedown. So that's interesting because the timing is the same time here, and these people are also saying some kind of meeting. That's weird. They locked down the jail and had interesting. Hopefully, it's a meeting over Summer Wells. Yo, the bridge burner. Oh, was I supposed to text you? Sorry, it's been I've had a pretty nonstop day today. Look out the bank robbery in Asheville and Johnson City looks like Sean Williams to me. Well, there's probably which bank robbery? Wasn't it someone visiting a neighbor in a light blue vehicle? Well, it was Alicia P. I think that's who was mentioning a light blue truck, and it might have to do with something a psychic said or something. However, I did ask Fred about this light blue truck, okay? And that's why I was wondering if there is something about a light blue truck pertaining to Summer's case. And I was asking him, I said, just curious if you have seen anyone in the area with a light blue truck that might have antique plates. He asked if the truck is an antique Ford. I said, possibly. Don't have anyone in mind, just trying to get ideas. Who owns an older light blue Ford? He said, what years? 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s? I said, I'm not exactly sure the date, but do you know any trucks that are older light blue truck that could be considered antique? And he said, yes, ma'am. Lonnie Dykes. He said Lonnie Dykes was restoring like a 1935 to 45 model. Oh, okay. 35 to 45 model blue Ford. He lives on the Hawkins-Sullivan County line, and he is Ricky and Marlena Crawford's big brother. And he could be a pedophile, but he's not registered one, but is one, according to Fred Hill. So it must be word on the street, this Lonnie Dykes or whoever, which interesting to find out. The reason is, this Lonnie Dykes is Marlena and Ricky's older brother. Hey, Texas Brat. Yeah, but talking about on October 31st, Asheville bank robbery suspect. Possibly. Let's see here. And you said the other one was Johnson City bank robbery? I don't know. Oh, shit. You know, the reason why is because I hear that the prisoner's hair was shaved. Thinking I see some hair.
Finding a man accused of robbing a bank this morning. This happened at the First Citizens Bank on Tunnel Road. Police say the suspect passed a note to a teller and then demanded cash. They say the man then took off before the officers arrived. Police released these surveillance photos of the suspect. If you know who this is, you are asked to call Asheville Police.
Okay, and then you said the other one is Johnson City. It looks like the same exact guy. From the little bit I can see in that picture, but let's see. This happened Monday morning. Gosh, I don't know that. Well, his hair could be long. He's been gone. He's been on the run for. That kind of does look like it could be the same person. How do you do? Said the Johnson City Police Department is investigating after a reported bank robbery Monday morning. The robbery occurred at Truist Bank on West Market Street in Johnson City around 11:20 a.m. Police report a man entered the bank and demanded cash, later leaving with an undisclosed amount of money. In surveillance photos provided by police, the suspect can be seen wearing a gray hoodie, black sweatpants, and a black beanie. In the photos, the suspect is wearing a mask while inside. See, I mean, these masks now that these masks, that's giving people, it covers most of his face. They should make it change the requirements now that you have to like take off your mask when approaching or something. You know what I mean? Hey, Stephanie. He has access to over 800K. Really? I'm at work, but listening. Hope everyone is having a great night. Same to you. I plead the fifth. He looks like a former neighbor. Both of them look like they could have. They do look like they could be the same person. Wow. So he looks. Aurora, I think I was just reading an email from you today. Sorry, I've been so behind in emails. So I hear that people are upset about something that Chris McDonough said. Well, but it's still, some people still do, Linda, and it's a great way to disguise yourself. How much time would a first offender get for robbing a bank, asking for a friend? Right? Hey, Lisa. So what is it? I think I know actually what it was because I was there when Chris made the statement, but I don't think he made it, or I don't think he meant it to sound like he said it about the booth for the missing children and stuff. I think he said something like, "Who cares about that?" or "I don't care about that," or something like that, right? And I guess it has some people upset. God. I don't understand. I saw that Chasing Truth was live, and she was upset about something Chris McDonough had said. Okay. So I was listening in on what Jinkies was saying about the situation. I think it's kind of silly and not real. It's kind of boring, actually. That whole. Hey, Iris. Oh, it's Daisy that's always up. I don't. Daisy's the one that's always upset. Chris had said something on Josh's, and I knew it was gonna. People were gonna make a big deal out of it. As soon as he said it, I was like, "Oh man." Because, and I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he was just, I don't think he was paying attention to how he said it, and I think people are really reading into it. Aw, thank you, Carla. Hey, Linz. Oh, I know about the Crow case. Who doesn't like salt and fries? Not when they freaking I hate really salty fries. Speaking of Dawn and Candace, What have they been up to recently? Has anybody seen them on the streets? Thief poops after being arrested. Ew. What the hell? Oh, God. Why am I going to have to watch this now? Why are we going to have to watch this now? Trigger warning. Because I have to see what this is. Thief poops after being arrested. What? An officer was dispatched to Tractor Supply, a store regarding a retail theft that occurred in Crestview, Florida. Ew, I don't know if I could watch this. Oh, God. I was just reading it. Never mind. I don't know if I would want to do that to you guys. I mean, surely it won't show what... Surely they won't show the defecation, right? Leslie. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You're going to talk to me for just a minute.
Okay, what else are you?
Well, first off, people thought that you were intoxicated and then you jaywalked and almost got hit
Yeah,
by
I'm
a car.
intoxicated. I'm headed that way to my house.
So right now, you had a pedestrian violation.
Oh, yeah. I do not want to watch that person defecate everywhere. That's so gross. I was like, what? Why is I'm having like a whole, for some reason, whole bunch of my notifications have been coming in weird, like way after the event happens. Anyways, I hope so, Sheba, but I don't know if I want to find out. I was curious, though. Curious enough to, what's going on here?
Computer that my husband got me, and it's as he's kind of created a monster, so you are going to see me create a lot of stuff because that's what I like to do. I like to create. I don't like to argue.
No. Cam up, traders. Yeah, drama team.
But I'm going to tell you something about my hair. It's all.
I don't know that lady.
Anybody want to come up on panel with me?
I don't really know who that lady is. Sean Christopher Williams. See, that is wanted by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for 2 counts of rape of a child, 16 counts of especially aggravated sexually exploitation of a minor, and 3 counts of aggravated sexual battery under 13. Gross. Sean Christopher Williams has been added to the TBI's most wanted list. A reward of up to $2,500 is being offered for any information leading to his arrest. Gosh, is that all, that they feel getting him off the streets is worth? Continues to fight. Who's this? after 5-story fall. Macaulay Evans, who fell 5 stories from a condo in Johnson City in 2020, poses for a photo in Johnson City Thursday, October 12th. Evans is now fighting to have her voice heard in the case of an alleged serial rapist that has rocked the town of Johnson City, with allegations of police corruption, 2 federal lawsuits, and a scathing audit that exposed systemic failures in the way police investigated SA. Michaela Evans shows. Hold on. Oh, okay. He said that they shook them down. I just got a message from Fred that they did shake people down. Shows the scar on her arm from falling 5 stories from a condo in Johnson City in 2022, as seen on Thursday, October 12th. Evans is now fighting to have her voice heard in the case of an alleged serial rapist. Okay, I already read that. It keeps saying the same thing under each picture. Oh, thank you, Leslie, for becoming a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what's. Let me go to see part 1 on Smiley's committee wall. 1 second. But see, they both look fine as a piece of candy. Wait, what? Here is one of the photos to the sub who wanted to see when Don went to see his dad in Utah after seeing Dr. Phil. Oh, sorry, I forgot your name. And there are more, but no, see, they both look fine as a piece of candy. Did police refuse to investigate a serial rapist? Inside the case rocking a Tennessee sitting, a manhunt continues for an escaped inmate accused of sexually assaulting dozens of women. His victims say Johnson City police let him get away with his alleged crimes for years. Johnson City businessman Sean Williams is accused of sexually assaulting more than 50 unconscious women and 2 young children in incidents he allegedly photographed and videotaped. He escaped from custody on October 18th and remains a fugitive. The city is now roiled in lawsuits from his victims and a former federal prosecutor who alleged that the police for years failed to investigate Williams, even as multiple women came forward. Johnson City, Tennessee, Michaela Evans doesn't remember the events before she fell 68 feet from the window of a Johnson City condo on the night of September 19, 2020. She tumbled 5 stories, landing on her feet. The impact shattered her legs and pelvis and broke all of her fingers and toes. Her punctured lung made a high-pitched wheezing sound as she laid on the ground. Oh my God. They told me if I lived, I'd be paralyzed the rest of my life, said Evans, 35, but I proved them wrong. Over the past 3 years, Evans, a single mom from Kingsport in East Tennessee, has fought to rebuild her life and body, often in agonizing pain. She spent weeks in a hospital and struggled to learn how to walk again through multiple surgeries and physical therapy. She now walks with a cane, but pain is constant battle. It's not her only battle. An escape from custody and allegations of police corruption in Johnson City. Evans is fighting to have her voice heard in the case of an alleged serial rapist that has rocked Johnson City. Okay, I reread that. I don't understand how this... I'm confused about how that lady comes into play. It's not telling me who... She must have been one of his victims, but it's saying that she can't remember anything before falling 5 stories from out of a building. She said she fears that Williams could come after her and her family, but it doesn't stop her from speaking out. Oh, okay. On October 18th, Williams escaped from custody by smashing out the back window of a police transport van as guards were shuffling him to a federal court appearance in Greenville on child rape charges. He remains a fugitive on the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list. 2 lawsuits with allegations of failure to investigate. As the manhunt continues, Johnson City is facing a whirlwind of allegations and lawsuits. One is a whistleblower suit from a former federal prosecutor who alleges that police ignored her repeated pleas to investigate and arrest Williams and then fired her after she complained to others outside of the department. A second lawsuit comes from nearly a dozen Jane Does who allege that police knowingly failed to investigate multiple complaints from victims and dissuaded them from pursuing criminal charges as Williams went on to commit more crimes. For years, Sean Williams drugged and raped women in Johnson City, Tennessee, and for years, officers of the Johnson City Police Department let him get away with it. Evans believes she was drugged by Williams before she plummeted from the window of his 5th floor condo, but with little evidence, her case was deemed accidental. Still, her bone-shattering fall that night was a catalyst for the investigation into Williams, and Evans wants her voice to be heard. She fears that Williams could come after her and her family, but it doesn't stop from her speaking out. But it doesn't stop her from speaking out. I feel like God has brought me back to help bring at least one monster to justice. Wow. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Yeah, okay, she thinks he drugged her. Wow. So what kind of business did this guy have that people were doing this for him? Okay, yeah. John Williams. It really does feel like they let him go. Trev Time did. Sean Williams indicted for protection of CP Greenville, Tennessee on September 12, 2023. A federal grand jury in Greenville returned a 3-count indictment against Sean Williams, 51 of Johnson City, Tennessee, for producing visual depictions of minors engaged in sexual explicit conduct. Williams appeared in federal court on September 14, 2023, before the Honorable Cynthia Richardson Wyrick United States magistrate, judge, and entered a plea of not guilty to the charges in the indictment. The trial has been set for January 23rd, 2024, before the Honorable J. Ronnie Greer, United States District Court Judge in the U.S. District Court in Greenville, Tennessee. If convicted, Williams faces a minimum mandatory term of 15 years in prison and up to 30 years in prison as to each count of the indictment. Williams also faces a maximum of life term of supervision. Hey guys, if you block somebody, you can unblock them. You can hit them again and unblock them. Did you get unblocked? Hold on, let me see. Okay, you unhit hair curlers should be good. It looks like you unhit her. I think you're good, Jennifer. Hair curlers, can you let us know if you can type? Yep. Nope, you're not blocked. Okay. Yeah. So they've changed it where you can unblock now. They didn't used to allow that. But if something like that happens, you can hit it again and hit unhide. I know. What is that? That's what I'm saying. And this is too close to freaking Hawkins County. Thank you, Carla Barnes, for joining the Zixters. But this is too close to, where Summer Wells disappeared. And you know what? Another case that's been going on forever and seeming like no justice is being brought to. What if this is all related? Like, what if this here with, whoever's been letting this guy get away with his shit for however long, for years and years, it sounds like. Maybe it's the same people that are surrounding the Summer Wells, situation. Lord have mercy. No, you're good. You don't have to panic, Juniper. It's fine. It happens all the time. You're fine, Juniper. Seriously, don't worry about it. But now you know. You know for next time how to do it. There you go. See? Won't happen again. Or if it does, you'll know how to fix it. So, hello from Knoxville, says Leslie. Hair curlers is a good person, but I'm sure she would know that if she was blocked, it wouldn't be intentional. Hopefully she would know that. So it looks like U.S. Attorney Francis M. Hamilton, the 3rd of Eastern District of Tennessee, and FBI Special Agent in Charge, Joseph E. Carrico, made the announcement. This indictment is a result of an investigation by the FBI, TBI, Homeland Security, and the 1st Judicial District Attorney General's Office. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Megan Lynn Gomez and Emily Schwecker will represent the United States. Members of the public are reminded that an indictment constitutes only charges and that every person is presumed innocent until their guilt has been proven by reasonable doubt. So you think that, okay, why did charges have to go to the grand jury? Why didn't he have charges before then? somebody is. What is this dude's job? Like, what's his business? He looks like a crackhead. Sorry, not sorry. But how does this guy have any pull? It's like, who is this twerp? He looks like he's about 5'5", 135 pounds, a dweeb who's never got women, who, has to victimize those who can't defend themselves. Or he has to drug them. Same thing, that's victimization. Like, this guy looks like he would have zero pull, like, not even on Ben Hill Road. Like, he looks like, I don't know, he looks like Don Wells people, seriously. He owns a glass and concrete company. Okay, thank you. 10. Downtown entrepreneur. Alleged child rapist had quirks. You think? Johnson City. Before he was in jail for being an alleged sex offender who had purportedly videotaped and photographed himself committing dozens of rapes in his downtown Johnson City apartment, Sean Williams was a regular at Dos Gatos coffee shop. Dos Gatos. That means two cats coffee shop, if anybody wants to know. That put Williams, the then owner of Glass and Concrete Contracting, in frequent contact with Dick Nelson, who owned Dos Gatos on East Main Street and been a downtown resident and business owner for decades. Thursday afternoon, Williams had been indicted on multiple child rape and aggravated sexual exploitation charges. Nelson talked about his perceptions of Williams, including an admission that while the charges concerning minors shocked him, allegations of sexual assault didn't. So this is the owner at the Dos Gatos coffee shop where Sean Williams was a regular customer for years. And this guy is the owner, Dick Nelson. He lived downtown. When he lived downtown, he would come in 2 or 3, 4 times a day and get his drink, an iced mocha, Nelson said. He remembers Williams as a lucrative customer. He pointed out one time, I probably spend $3,000 a year here, but one who not infrequently has baristas remake his drink if there was something he didn't like about it. Like, what? He remembers Williams as a lucrative customer. He pointed out one time, I probably spend $3,000 a year here. But one who not infrequently had baristas remake his drink if there was something he didn't like about it. Nelson said about Dos Gatos baristas, always want to make a drink perfect and are happy to remake one, but it's rare for somebody 1 out of 4 times to say this tastes like licorice. So I guess he used to say it tastes like licorice because Williams seemed to Nelson to be fairly unsociable when he and his partner saw him out occasionally, and terse in general, borderline not interested in talking to anybody. Dos Gatos staff kind of dreaded to see him come through the door, Nelson said. God. But come through he did, week after week, year after year, until he fled town after Johnson City police unsuccessfully tried to serve an arrest warrant on him in early May 2021. He also did some work on one of Nelson's downtown buildings. Nelson said prior to news breaking in June of 2022 of Williams' alleged misdeeds, while he didn't witness any particular shady behaviors, he did observe a few things that gave him pause. I mean, everybody would see him, it seemed like, with a different woman all the time, Nelson said. One time I pointed out how skinny he was looking, and he said, too much hookers and cocaine, Nelson said. And that could have been a joke from a person with no humor. Wait, what? One time I pointed out how skinny he was looking, and he said, too much hookers and cocaine. Sounds like somebody Don Wells would hang out with, Nelson said, and that could have been a joke from a person with no humor. When former federal attorney Kat Dahl filed the lawsuit against the Johnson City Police Department in late June 2022 and alleged that Williams was a serial rapist, Nelson said the news actually didn't shock him. A lot of times you hear about somebody in your neighborhood being indicted or convicted or accused of pretty horrible things, and you say, he always kept to himself, he was quiet, he was such a nice guy, or something like that. But you know, when this happened, it was not a very big surprise. The lack of surprise, though, occurred before the allegations that Williams had also sexually abused children. News Channel 11 first reported those last month after obtaining a search warrant affidavits for digital devices Western Carolina University police allegedly found when they arrested Williams. Those thumb drives and phones purportedly showed video and images of not just adult women who appear to be drugged being sexually assaulted, but also at least 3 children, including a baby. I guess the surprise was how awful it was, Nelson said, referring to the additional revelations about children. It's pretty disgusting and pretty sad. And, you know, I feel a degree of maybe some kind of absent guilt because you find out something like this has been happening and you kind of wonder, was there some sign that you could have caught on to? But I mean, never saw him with anybody that didn't look like to be a grown-up, but never saw him with a child. And after May 2021, Nelson never saw his 3 or 4 time a day customer again. Now he said he and other people downtown who were familiar with Williams are following the quickening pace of news about his alleged crimes. Everybody's just kind of watching for the next story, see what else he's done. Okay, so his drink was a let's see what drink was that again. An iced mocha. So that's important to know too, because that could be help in finding him. Like, I'm guessing he would be going to coffee shops, don't you think? Just said the same thing. What's that, Justin? Sounds like Don, yeah. And this is close, you know, this guy stomping grounds is pretty close to actually Johnson City. That's pretty close. That's right around Don's stomping grounds. And they both, if he really is into hookers and to cocaine, we know Don Wells is. Have they crossed paths before? I mean, it's not completely ridiculous to wonder. Don worked in Johnson City. See, I was thinking so. I think he did, but then I was thinking, was it Jonesboro or Johnson City? He's probably worked at both. I'm sure he worked all over around there. I mean, he did drywall work, so he probably travels all areas around there. Pieces are definitely coming together, right, Hawk? Could this all have to be something much bigger and involve whatever happened to Summer Wells? Could it all be tied back together? I mean, this guy, how does this happen? And this guy, I wonder, you know, in any of these pictures that they're confiscating from these weirdos, Do they recognize any of these children that are missing? I wonder. You know what I mean? And who has to look at those photos? That would be horrible. But I'd want to look because I want to see the children. Like, I don't want to see all that. You know what I mean? But you want to look so you can see if there's any missing children, who the children are. You know, you need to get CPS involved. I would think that'd be very important if you're seeing children being sexually assaulted in pictures and video. You would think that they would compare those to missing children too. It's really gross to even think about it, but it just makes me really, I mean, of course, the offense alone makes me uncomfortable, but just how close it is to Summer Wells. And this guy, like, who all has been helping him get away with this for so long? That means there's other people involved. Probably a part of the same ring that this dude's a part of. Same, trafficking ring or pornography ring, child CP ring. What did Tim upload from Dawn's phone? Let's see if that's a good question. I'm surprised they don't have dude's face on here because he's on the run, but maybe not at this time. Maybe he wasn't. 5'11", 170 pounds. So he's tall. He looks like that bank robber to me. Like, and I guess his hair was shaved when he escaped. His head was shaved when he escaped. But that was like a month ago. So now he could have all his hair back and he could have facial hair. He looks to have a little bit of a red tint to his hair. It says that his hair is brown, but to me, he looks a little bit like, like a ginge. A slight ginge. And those bank robbers from Asheville and Johnson City look a lot like this guy. They had a red tint, or the one did, and the other one face looks similar to this guy's. Tom from Facebook. Him and Dawn even close to the same age. Well, look how long did this guy get away with this stuff for? And it would make sense, like, that there's some kind of trafficking ring or child pornography ring around that area, and people are being hush-hush. It would make sense that it would, the same people covering for this guy are the same people covering something up with Summer Wells, too. I mean, how many horrible freaking people could there possibly be out there? Gosh. Because think about it, how many people had to have been covering for this guy? It had to have been more than just one guy or one person. There had to have been several involved with helping him get away with his crimes. Same thing with the Summer Wells, like, in my opinion. That's if there is anything being covered up in Summer Wells. There would have to be several. I'm not sure if there's something being covered up with Summer Wells. I'm just saying that, I don't know. Sometimes I go back and forth with that. Well, it's hard for me. I usually say SA. The only reason why people say R is because of YouTube terms of services. But sometimes it won't monetize your streams. But I really can't. I really cannot stand censorship. For something that is unfortunately real life, is something that unfortunately we have to face and deal with, because we get weirdos like this guy running the streets, wanted by the U.S. Marshals. So this was a wanted poster the U.S. Marshals distributed in Johnson City, Tennessee in July of 2022. Sean Williams, and says he wanted for a weapon offense. Williams faces charges of cocaine and methamphetamine trafficking related to that incident. In Western Carolina, University police allegedly found more than 12 ounces of cocaine and 14 ounces of meth in a vehicle he was in. Wow. And somebody was wondering about that Asheville, North Carolina. And if that could have been him, that bank robber. Well, right here shows that he has ties to the Carolinas, North Carolina, and it shows too that here's more confirmation that he is into cocaine. Large amounts. He's into weird sex crime stuff like Don Wells, allegedly. Remember when the prison guards in one of those counties were in trouble for essay to female inmates? Yeah, that was over in, wasn't it I don't think it was Green, was it? Which county was that? Sullivan? Sounded like we are knitting. Yeah, we're knitting craft show. We talk about true crime, so we should be able to speak clearly about true crime. I always say no children when I upload. Yeah, me too. Mine are always, it's always 18 and up. Well, when I upload anyways, it's supposed to be. But the thing is, with YouTube, you can talk about it. Your video won't be monetized, probably. So I usually do I try to censor a little bit, but sometimes I just say F it. Yeah, he's been on the run for a while. Who was the two, have they released? I wonder if they released anything about who was the people driving that transport van when he kicked out the windows. A Knoxville police officer was just arrested for production of CP. Let's look that up. Ew. He looks like a freaking pervert. Ew. He totally looks like a freaking perv. Oh, God. According to U.S. District Attorney's Office release, 47-year-old Dan Rourke faces federal charges involving the production of CP. Rourke was arrested at the newly opened Knoxville Public Security Complex and made his initial appearance in federal court at 2:30 p.m., according to a federal release. Rourke has worked for the department since 2007 and last served on patrol in October of 2020. His police powers have been suspended. The allegations against Dan Rourke are deeply disturbing and abhorrent. His alleged actions shock the conscience and, if proven true, demonstrate monstrous behavior against a truly innocent victim. I am sickened by these accusations, which in and of themselves have brought immeasurable discredit on our agency and the entire law enforcement profession. We have and will continue to cooperate fully with federal investigators. We will also act with great urgency to resolve this matter and repair the damage done to public trust in the wake of these disturbing allegations. The Knoxville Chief of Police, Paul Noel. An investigation first began after the Scott County, Virginia Sheriff's Department received an anonymous tip that a juvenile victim had been sending explicit material online. Rourke was found to have been in contact with the juvenile and their mother through a search of the victim's phone. Earlier this year, he was one of the two officers to file a grievance against the department over claims of disability discrimination. The criminal complaint is the result of an investigation by Homeland Security Investigations, Scott County Sheriff, Virginia, the TBI, and the 9th Judicial District Attorney's Office. I heard a prison transport company, and they had him chained to the back of the headrest. Let's look up, okay. Lonnie, has anybody heard of Lonnie Dykes? Lonnie Dykes. Oh, it's by Lonnie, Lonnie, probably. That's the, Two connect. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to find see if I could what I could find at Lonnie Dykes. Okay. So when I searched Lonnie Dykes, I did get Ricky Crawford's obituary. So Ricky is survived by his wife of 41 years, Liz Crawford, 2 daughters, Frances Dykes and Marlena Crawford, who is with somebody named Daniel Hayes, 2 sons, Lonnie Dykes and Ricky Crawford. This guy right here is who Fred says has that antique light blue truck. People were asking about a light blue truck. That guy owns, or people were asking about a antique light blue truck. This guy has one, a Ford, according to Fred. So I don't know what it is that I don't even really understand the whole blue truck thing. I don't know if it came from a psychic or what it came from, but it is interesting for it to come back that somebody who owns an antique light blue truck, Ford, is Ricky and Marlena Crawford's older brother. I don't know, Moonshine Girl. People were asking me to ask Laura and Fred about who had a light blue truck in area, an antique light blue truck. And I actually think it might go back. It has to do with a reading from a psychic or something. I don't know. But, just so it's probably nothing really, if it can, but you never know. It's good information to have. They didn't realize he was missing until they arrived in Greenville. Green Eyes was asking. I think Ellie knows what happened to Summer. They're just hushed because there's well-known higher class people involved. Wonder who Lonnie's mom is. Liz Crawford. I don't understand why his last name. Well, I guess you're right, because if his last name is Dykes, it sounds like you might be right that he might have been raised by his mom and took his mom's last name. If he ever met Sean Williams. Okay, let me see. I'm messaging him now. Johnson City charged with child I did want to ask Fred about that, so I'm glad you guys reminded me about that. So I'm curious. I doubt it because this guy, he was a businessman down in Johnson City. I don't think Fred got out much outside of Ben Hill Road. I mean, he does get out a lot. Don't get me wrong, around the hood out there in the holler, but in Beach Creek. But as far as going far out of town, I don't think he really does that. Such a tangle web there in Dykestown, really? Oh, thank you, Mimi of Six, for reminding me. Yeah, I saw that. We were reading that article earlier, Jude, about the woman. Was she actually a lady of the night, or was she? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way, that's still wrong. She doesn't remember before. Why would he have to drug a lady of the night? Unless that was something he was just, who knows? God, not trying to get a visual. So was his mom a Liz Dykes, or did he take his real dad's? You're probably right, Moonshine. He probably had a different mom and probably wasn't raised by Ricky Crawford. I mean, I could ask Fred if it's something that Fred might know who Wani's mother is. Fred might not, but bet Dawn does, right? I do too. I bet so too. I bet Dawn Wells knows Sean Williams. Actually, did anybody check any of his Facebooks? Does he have any of his friends list open anymore? Sean Williams on the run for more than 3 weeks. Authorities say prison transport van camera wasn't working. How the hell does that even happen? Sean Williams on the run after escaping custody is accused of over 50 including children, and Johnson City police are being sued for knowing and joking about it. Gross. He escaped once and was on the run for 2 years, then captured, sent back to Tennessee, and almost escaped jail again. This does not make sense at all. What? He's escaped before? So let's see. Let me see if I can find his Facebook. If he has one. Yeah, there he is. Oh my God. Wow. Hold on. This looks interesting. What the fuck? Hold on. Is this for real? Here is his page, guys. Look at this. What the hell is this? Lives in Johnson City. Look at all the vodka, the beer, the Jim Beam. What the hell? October 1st. From Sean Williams. I lived in Johnson's. Is this really him? Wait. Or is this a post somebody? Who is this person? Oh my God. What the hell is this? This is freaking weird. Who is writing on this? Okay, here, let me read this instead of freaking out here. From Sean Williams. It says, from Sean Williams. I lived in Johnson City in a relationship and running my general contracting business that I started at 21 years old. I lived there over a decade without ever going out to any of the dozen bars right outside my downtown condo. I became single around 2017 and decided that I needed to start meeting people and start working so hard. Due to my luxury condo and willingness to spend money on others, I became popular very quickly. My reputation as a person with money that likes women and parties, and a 5,000 square foot garage filled with exotic cars, glass doors, and parties until daylight accelerated me to, for lack of better term, a rock star status. Anyone who came downtown Johnson City more than once became familiar with me or my parties. Michaela and I didn't know each other 20 minutes before her date, and I witnessed her fall. After she came out of her coma, we connected on Facebook. I encouraged her to sue my insurance company to cover her extensive hospital bills, which she did not do within the first year statute of limitations. Does anybody know about these posts? I encouraged her to sue my insurance company to cover her extensive hospital bills, which she did not do within the first year of statute of limitations. We had many conversations on Messenger talking about the possibility of her date, Albert, drugging her because she had no memory of being upstairs and had only been in my garage and upstairs no more than 20 minutes, somehow remembering that she had nothing to eat or drink thereafter, leaving the bars with her other friends. We laughed about her thinking that she got drugged at my place when I had half the females in town trying to get into my parties. Her story changed, and I was unfriended after the first year statute of limitations passed, and Kat Dahl, the fired federal prosecutor with a chip on her shoulder, started her smear campaign. The data found I have no charges related to the alleged data. If there was any of this data, I would have already been charged. What is this? If there was any of this data, I would have already been charged. Detective Thomas Sparks lied about the amount of cash in my safe and about the tiny amount of cocaine he planted in proximity to the safe so he could legally take it, knowing what it was in it. Lots of legal cash. When drugs are found near a safe, by law, it is probable cause to take and search the safe. I admit I have had various amounts of cocaine about my place, but when I was tipped off about the search by my employee who was married to the city official, my roommate and I made sure there was nothing to be found. She knew about Michaela's statement that it wasn't a crime scene. She simply fell out of the window. The search was a fishing expedition. Sparks lied about attempts by me to wipe my phone remotely to hide the fact that it was illegally taken and search revealing nothing. Any photography on my devices was limited to many photos and video shoots with various female friends, together and alone, all of which were of age. which I didn't turn myself in. Johnson County Police Department was obviously corrupt that stole $419,000. Wait, hold on. Johnson City was obviously corrupt that stole $419,000, extorted my business and business partner, then teamed up after a police corruption lawsuit was filed by a whistleblower and threw me under the bus. After the lawsuit, it became public witch hunt. Just as predicted, Carl Turner, the former police chief, was forced to resign because of all the protests. So Kat's gets rich lawsuit seemed to be off to a good start. Kat had a chip on her shoulder because she had been to my condominium before after being picked up by my roommate with some of other people from a bar. She was later told to leave abruptly by some girls that came by later, which is why she was pushing an indictment that no other official was willing to assist with. Due to the circumstances, I am a felon for growing pot plants when I was 21, which makes it a felony for me to have something as simple as a bullet. As mentioned in her lawsuit against the Johnson City Police Department, the circumstances did not justify an indictment. Regardless, Kat's lawsuit brought a microscope onto the Johnson City Police Department's corruption problem. It wasn't about assaults. It was about drug money and extortion, and Kat knew it, the corruption. Alunda, my ex and business partner, was paying officials at Johnson County Police Department with money from my company for years because she got caught selling cocaine, and the corrupt officers targeted her for extortion, probably due to her association to me. When Michaela fell, it created a problem. The corruption could potentially be exposed. Alunda made a 2000. Hey, come here, Bandit. Bandit. Alunda made a $2,000 a week payments to Sparks and other unnamed officers using bogus, fraudulent 1099 names and forged owners' draws. Sparks and other unnamed officers are now $500,000 richer after taking my safe with $500K in it and returning it with only $81,000. They successfully diverted attention from the corruption and onto me. Alunda swept in and, hey, Bandit. Stop, guys. What? I don't know what this is, Sharon, but this is weird because this is that guy, Sean Williams. And how is he able to post? So he's posting on Facebook and taunting people? Does police know this even is on here? Like, I'm like mind blown right now. He has it under some weird name. Stop, Athena, please. She's trying to climb onto my lap. Alunda swept in, liquidated my company, stole the contents of my condo and garage, and opened a business, taking all of my clients and contracts with her. Alleged attempt to escape. The attempted escape charge was made official the day of my hearing to suppress evidence of ammunition allegedly found in my safe. The hearing would identify... Go, Athena, stop. You gotta move. The hearing would identify that the safe was searched illegally weeks after the incident, which was a loose concrete patch approximately 1 inch tall on the floor joint that had been glued back in place with toothpaste by a previous inmate. Wait, what? The attempted escape charge was made official the day of my hearing to suppress evidence of ammunition allegedly found in my safe. The hearing would identify that the safe was searched illegally weeks after the incident, which was a loose concrete patch approximately 1 inch tall on the floor joint that had been glued back in place with toothpaste by a previous inmate. I'm confused, but anyways. The concrete sliver was located between cells and was used to slide commissary items such as Pop-Tarts back and forth. Me being moved to Washington County was an example of the efforts and conflict interest I was subjected to, including shutting off my ability to make or receive calls from my lawyer and putting me in lockdown isolation after I started using another inmate's phone account to call my lawyer, requesting that he move me to a different jail, which he did ASAP. The Jane Does. I can identify several of the Jane Does by the wording they use in the lawsuit, each motivated by one of the following: spite for being banned from my parties, status upgrade by associating themselves with me or insinuating that I was attracted to them. What? Is this guy for real? Shut up. Don't block me, bro. Get a freaking life. Is this guy for real? Spite for being banned from my parties. Listen, a status upgrade by associating themselves with me or insinuating that I was attracted to them. He looks like a crackhead. So if so what he is saying is that he is so amazing. I guess he does seem like he is quite wealthy. I don't even understand what's going on here. But this needs to be reported to law enforcement. Definitely. He has it under some kind of Chinese name. See? That's why I'm like trying to get this on here before it gets shut down, because this is going to get shut down. Sorry, I'm looking at something that somebody just sent me. Bandit, come here. Come here. She has a page. Oh my God. She has a page that's called 5-Story Fall Victim. What? She has a page, like a fan page. Okay, well, let's continue with this. This is very strange. I have a feeling this page is going to be taken down, and I have a feeling I need to get this all on here as fast, because, like, why? How is this guy doing this? October 1st. Is this a different year? No, this was this year. This is this. How did he post this? Didn't he escape from freaking jail? I am so confused here. I hope to God law enforcement's seen this. He got all kinds of, he's telling all the tea here. The Jane Does. I can identify several of the Jane Does by the wording they used in the lawsuit, each motivated by one of the following: spite for being banned from my parties, status upgrade by associating themselves with me or insinuating that I was attracted to them, potential settlement money from the Johnson City Police Department to avoid an expensive lawsuit, or simple fame or a moment in the spotlight, or in the case of the dead girl, who I've never met, the family just feels the need to blame someone for her terrible accident. What they all have in common is that I was the perfect target. The above is what Sean provided me September 2nd, 2023. I kind of figured myself somehow the charges were coming and was half waiting on them. Okay, the above is what Sean kind of figured myself somehow the charges were coming and half waiting on them, but I wanted to emphasize that he didn't believe anything could exist, because it didn't. That's a very bold statement he provided to me in Fox News. If he knew himself to be guilty and knew the cops to have this evidence in their possession on what I do know is that the Johnson City Police Department correctional officers stole Sean's extremely detailed notes on the girls in the lawsuit against Johnson City and its officers when he was incarcerated in Washington County. That's right, lawsuit girls. The city manager was full of shit when she said they didn't know who you are. Yes, he identified girls from Doll's suit when he was free as well. And let me absolutely stress, no harm came to them. Right now, as I potentially also evidenced by the city. And what the hell? Covering up rape got told to you first because you're friends with either the girls or friends of the girls, and there's 2 degrees of separation around Johnson City because multiple girls, all safe, and by the way, couldn't have been possibly banded together to get money or exact revenge. There's just too much to read. Oh, here's this Michaela Evans. He's innocent, but Facebook Warrior isn't speaking on that one. So where are you at? We need an excuse of why and how he got out, please. Me drawing for whoever was posting for Sean. Mr. Williams in person posting for, from a completely unbiased point of view, I would like to understand things a little bit further since you're willing to open up publicly. Are you claiming to be innocent of all current charges against you, innocent of all accusations that have not formally been brought forth? There tends to be a discrepancies from everyone's personal point of view. I personally believe no one should be tried just on defamation of character. Says, was just waiting patiently for a response back from previous questions. Seems you all have been a little preoccupied working on something else now. Now, with that being said, is this escape made up as well? You've been right there to defend previously. Oh my God. What the hell is going on? Michaela Evans is on Krumke Facebook list. Who's that? He looks, I've seen him familiar. Or I've seen him before on somebody's Facebook. I wish he had his friends public. But maybe if I go back like really far. This says Sean Williams never R'd anybody. He never had a list, and he definitely wasn't moronic enough to leave one sitting in plain view as cops busted down his door. Nor did he have a 3-year period where he just suddenly up and became a Rist. Where are the other R's for the other 30 plus years of his adult life? And why in this 3-year period of those years, when extremely attractive women were practically throwing themselves at what was probably considered Johnson City's most eligible bachelor, would he risk his entire life to do so? Michaela Evans was at his condo for only 3 to 4 minutes. 6 passed between her arrival and Sean's exit. By the detective's accounts, which includes 1 to 2 minutes it took to get to the door and for shock to dissipate after having watched someone you literally just met fall out of your window. And what she continues to fail to mention, perhaps with exception of the couple of posts or clarify, is that she had a male escort she had known for 1 to 2 years accompanying her this entire time, and that his testimony matches Sean's, and that this was an accident, i.e. nobody was pushed or R'd. And even better, she fails to mention that according to other people who had known her, she had a previous habit of just falling off porches, and whatever else. Just to be absolutely clear, this was not Sean's roommate, and he knew this male escort for the same amount of time as Michaela, who he had just met 15 minutes prior to going up to his condo. It's insane. Most importantly, though, she fails to mention that her exorbitant medical bills get reimbursed covered if she can prove her her accident was the result of a violent crime, and that she can also potentially regain lost wages. What she does speak of on that front is receiving money from her live streams, of which, while they may have been deleted archive, there may have been many, and repeatedly wanting to get money from a lawsuit, from a book, from her business, which is nothing more than an attempt to capitalize on an event that never happened. This sounds like freaking. I know you don't know me, but I'm the 5-story fall victim in Johnson City. Have you or any of your friends experienced strange things, drugged, raped, feeling funny, losing memory in the past 5 to 10 years? What the heck? This is very interesting, but this is going to take a lot of digging into. Start a small business. Even if it's at home and you think it's stupid now, you'll thank me in 5 to 10 years. He says, I agree. I'm seeing who's liking his post. So this guy's supposed to be Johnson City's most eligible bachelor. Is that for real? So what, did somebody break him out because he's being so... Why does his picture look so freaking familiar, though? I've seen him. There's Michaela. Why did he, to me, he looks like he's bad on drugs. Like, if he might have had some successful businesses, but at some point it looks like he got strung out or something. And, maybe he did get bad on drugs and suddenly turn into a rapist, as that guy who was posting says. So it makes more sense that somebody else was posting on his behalf on his Facebook. Did I get your text earlier? Yeah. The Michaela Evans, her page. Yes. Thank you for that. Oh, well, thank you, Jill. You're probably right. You're probably right. I probably have seen him around before because that's probably exactly how it happened, because that's what I do. You see how I'm looking through the likes and the comments and stuff? That's how I look to see who is associating with that person when their friends list is locked down. A lot of clues can be found this way, but So here has a post that says, show you want to get nailed without saying it. Gregory Moody. Someone got a tat of me on a duck. It just needs some white under the nose, somebody wrote. And he responds, making fun of my gray hairs. Do you guys see this right here? Look at that. It just needs some white under the nose. And we have 3 people liking this. They're not talking about white hair or gray hair. Like they're going to try to pretend right here. Making fun of my gray hairs. Yeah. This was 2 years ago. So it sounds like it was well known this guy's a big time partier. We found a doll of you at Cracker Barrel the other day. Kind of looked like Bob Ross too, but mostly looked like you. Oh, God. What the heck? Oh my God. You guys see that? I don't know what to think. He's got a lot of sexual stuff. Check out my OnlyFans. Oh my God. Now I need to find a Seroquel. Serotonin. So it looks like, okay, are these his is this his garage and luxury vehicles? Is this for real? Okay, I guess this guy is like, he looks like, to me, he looks like he should like being hanging out with Don Wells. So I find it interesting that this guy that's what drugs can do to you. To me, it sounds like he was making his money. He might have been involved in some pretty horrible things to get his wealth. Pretty gross. But seriously, I think I'm ready to settle down with a supermodel now. Is there any way to unbaptize a baby? What the hell? He said. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Oh my God. I cannot believe that post was horrible. If you guys don't get that last one, I'm not going to explain it. That was really crazy. Met a nice girl named Piper. And then he puts laughy face. When someone drinks constantly, they're addicted. When someone does drugs all the time, they're addicted. When hits you in the face, what hit you in the face last night? Addicted. Oh my God. Police investigating after reported kidnapping or attempted kidnapping of juvenile girl. March 5th, 2021. I got dozens of friends, and the fun never ends as long as I'm buying. Okay. Anyways, interesting. I didn't plan on be going over that. Like, wow, that Facebook for so long. But you guys, I do have to go. I'm needing to go live on my other on Empress Ziggy because I'm going to be doing readings over there. So if anybody's interested, meet me over there later. I'm sure there's other people to watch. No, I have to, Justin. We're crowdfunding for something I'm going to tomorrow. A little event thing. And I've got to. That I'm going to go live. And it's going to be for my Empress Ziggy channel. So I'm going to this little thing. This little shindig. Okay, Justin. Yeah, that was weird. That's interesting. Very interesting story with that guy. That's very interesting. It looks like a huge rabbit hole to go down. Yeah, definitely looks like that is possibly somebody assisting somebody there. Yeah, and I'm going to have to get up kind of somewhat early, so. Really, Plant Diva? I felt like I was ignoring you guys. I'm sorry. But you guys stuck along with me while I was digging through that Facebook. That was really interesting. I wasn't expecting, but the weird, I recognize the guy from somewhere. And just like that lady said earlier, I think her name was Jill. It's weird that this guy, his Facebook looks so familiar. I probably did run into his Facebook at some point in research, like earlier on in the Summerwells case. Where is that at? Northern Wisconsin. Is it, where is that at? On Jinkies or where? No, Jinkies not live.
Hi, Debbie Nelson. I'm ready for stuffing. AI, please stop talking. Hey, Sherry.
Nested in a mouth tunnel. Sherry does me that way too. She's nosy. I'm not reading your chat because it's probably not a good idea for me to read your chat.
No.
Favorite dish for Thanksgiving?
Give me.
You know I
have. Yeah. Oh, no. Debbie, you did voice work? Get in contact with me because I wanna do some voice work.
About 100 million of them.
If anybody, because I'm gonna what's the name of that? Voices. Pearl sent me some info on that. So.
Early Pearls.
No, she's not joking. She's not.
Who?
Oh, Debbie.
Oh my God. Okay, guys. That's over at Matthew is silly AF. Daisy's on his panel. She gets so boy crazy. All right, guys. I'll be live on Empress Siggy in about 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna take a shower, I think, first. So I will see you guys soon, hopefully.